Hi Taurus, welcome into your reading. Welcome in. Sagittarius people and Virgo people, if you happen to be watching this video, I'll be doing your video tomorrow. I couldn't do it this week because I was really sick. I still am. Excuse me. I'm getting over it now. And yes, Taurus, sorry for this video being so late. All right, let's see what's going on for you. We're going to go right into eclipse season. So I want to see what your last week of August energies are doing for you. So Spirit, show me exactly the situation happening for Taurus, not now, but what's happening to them that last week, right in eclipse season of August. Show me what the situation is going to be for Taurus right then and there. So some of you, this is now starting to happen and it's present. Others of you, this is coming as your situation. Usually when I do these readings, it's currently your situation. And because energies don't shift or change so quickly within week to week, some of the nuances do, but not the main thing. But here, I want to know exactly what's happening to you guys during the second eclipse of this month. So you have Page of Pentacles, Two of Swords, and the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, and the Queen of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Okay. So you guys seem to be torn as to which direction to take on a certain matter, person, or situation. This way, that way, with them or not. That job, that you get the point. Your Two of Swords is right here. But with the Page of Pentacles, something has stagnated. Something has gone as far as it can grow. It needs more growing, or that's it. You hit a brick wall with this person. That's as far as it's going to go. You learned your lesson, and now you're ready for new ones in life. Because the growth is always what's on the table for every human being, all the time, throughout your life. For example, I'll dumb it down. Like my daughter who does dance, I always use this as an example. As she gets older, she needs more challenging things in her life so she can grow as a dancer, right? Or whatever her profession's going to be. It's the same thing in a relationship. We can't be in our 40s and 50s and still behave like we were in our 20s. We grow, we evolve. And sometimes we grow with our person or we don't. It's the same thing with the job. You're going to stagnate if you're doing the same thing for 20 years straight. So you're learning and you're growing. And you don't have a choice, because today, the way the world is shaping with AI and new technology, you have to grow or you won't advance. And that's the same thing in any concept of any part of your lives. So when you're sitting here with your Two of Swords and your Page of Pentacles, you also have the Knight, the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Something stagnated. You're in college, year one. You want to go to year two to finally graduate and get your degree? You got to expand. So now you're sitting here thinking about it, torn. Will this grow? Will it not grow? Because it's looking to me like it's not going to fucking grow, this relationship with this person. So now you're finally kind of like, instead of dragging your feet, you're picking up your feet. You're picking up the pace. You're like, all right, we can't do this dance anymore. We got to move it forward, right? But simultaneously, you're doing it with love. You're doing it with maturity. You're doing it with an open heart, all right? With the Queen of Hearts. And I know it's somebody you're in love with because, you know, you're coming out as the Queen of Cups. Sorry, I was coughing so much this week. I run out of breath now. All right. What's coming in for my Taurus this eclipse season? Tarot and a show. I'm flipping cards. Nine of Pentacles, the single card, the dolo card, the financially alone card. And crossing you is the Two of Wands with the Knight of Cups. Okay, so the image and the feeling that I got, I almost felt like internally like a pull, like a tug. You're challenged by moving forward and not looking back anymore. Because you are single. Now you're just single. It's like, how can I reference this, Taurus? If you had multiple options on the table for a person or a relationship, or you made moves to leave one situation because of another person, and now both aren't working out, you're in the gray, you're in the middle somewhere there. But what if I was to tell you it was always the plan? This was always to help trigger you to move things forward in your life so they wouldn't stagnate, so you wouldn't be the Page of Pentacles forever, right? So why is this a challenge? Because the one wand represents you moving into your future while the other one is holding you back. You're not looking at it, but because it's in cross, you're not. You're stuck somewhere in the gray. You're stuck between the doors of life choices, right? But you are single and you're doing just fine on your own. I think the universe is purposely putting you in this position, Taurus, so you acknowledge that no matter what, come hell or high water, you alone, you will do fabulous. You will function just perfectly. Yes, I know we all want somebody. We don't want to be lonely. We don't want to be alone. But I think the point here was to show you that you can be alone and do things by yourself and not need anyone or anything. And that you could have your own personal self-love. Because in this moment of space and time where you do find that self-love, Taurus, your love is going to be even greater for the thing that's trying to come in towards you. Because I don't feel like if you're caught between people, you might be a little bit emotionally disoriented. Not that you're not available, just disoriented. I hope that makes sense. Because that's the pull I was feeling, the tug. Where with this Knight of Cups, you're going to talk to somebody, about matters of the heart. And then you're going to wait and see what the results are. You're going to realize this is why you're the Queen of Cups. Emotionally mature. Going to talk. Seeing the reactions. Seeing the reflections. And then you're going to absorb that. And you're going to say to yourself, okay, not okay. And then seeing what you see, you make your moves. All right, let's continue. Let's see what the surprise of the week is. And this is why it's important and fundamental for you to understand, because we're in between eclipse season. The first one came on the 12th. The next one's on the 28th. What showed you some new beginnings on the 12th. And on the 28th, it closes out old chapters. Do you want to stay stuck or do you want to move forward? Because I think in this period of time for you, Taurus, it's knowing that no matter what you choose or you decide, you realize that you have to choose yourself first. Always. I always ask this question, and you would be surprised what people answer me. I ask all the time, name me 3 people you love most in the world. And of course, everyone starts rattling off like the closest people in their lives, or who means the most to them. But never, ever do they ever say themselves. You can't love you. How are you going to love everyone else? How are you going to give a piece of yourself? What's the point of the 8 of Cups card? We pour out love, but it's got to come from a source. It's got to come from somewhere, and that's us. But somebody's got to fuel it back. And you will know that through self-love. Okay, let's continue. Let's see what the surprise of the week is here for my Taurus, please. Because I also feel like we're getting an eclipse, I think, with like a full moon in Libra. And for you, you and Libra have ruling sign of, your ruling planet is Venus. You understand the concept of love. You understand, and I mean real, legit love. Not like pathos or, eros or these other types of loves. I mean like real, true, genuine love. With that said, 9 of Cups. Wish fulfillment and desires coming in. However, 2 9s now. See how we're talking about the self? 9s in Tarot represent self. So this reading so far is about you. The 10 of Swords is at the bottom of the deck. This is an ending and a betrayal. But somewhere in the middle of the week, you are facing or looking at your wish fulfillments and your desires. Your 9 of Cups. All right, we're going to clarify in a minute and see what's going on here, but I feel like anything flaky or flighty or bullshitty to you is like, excuse me, not something you're going to have. You're just kind of done with it. All right, what is the advice here from my Taurus group, please? Six of Wands. Okay, so this is an interesting card to fall in the advice because it talks about success, right? But moreover, because it's a Leo card, it talks about ego. All right. So the Six of Wands means that you will get vindication and validation by the person you want to hear from, right? Whether it's your boss or this person that you've been dealing with that's been treating you a little flaky, shady, shitty, whatever. Now, you can win the argument, you can win the battle, but really what you want is to win the war. Now, when this card falls in your advice, the Six of Wands, how will you use this to your advantage other than ego? Because this success is a momentary feeling. It feels wonderful in the moment, but how can you use it to maximize true success in a situation? That's what it's asking you to do. You need to find balance. You need to find a way to transition. So be like, okay, now I learned something from this. Or I found a door open for me to go through and have an opportunity with this person. That's how you're going to use it to your advantage. Now we're talking about advice, right? Because you also have Temperance at the bottom of the deck. You find balance. You find patience. You temper yourself. You control the energy, right? And underneath that card is the Five of Pentacles in reverse, where you're coming in from out of the cold. Now let's see what the outcome is for the week. Excuse me. Oh man, guys, this last 3 days kicked my ass. Let me tell you. It was not good. I couldn't get out of bed. It was that bad. Okay. Queen of Pentacles. There you are, my friends. I love it in the outcome. You're coming back home. You're coming back into your zone. You're coming back into your element, which is earth, which is grounded, which is putting down roots, right? And stability. And at the bottom of the deck is the Ace of Swords. Being honest, talking to somebody, having a conversation, putting it all out there, but you're finding stability. Rock steady, or it's a rock you're kicking out of the way. No, thank you. I'm a tree oak. Do I look like I sway and move? No, no, no. And that's what you're doing. And I like it because now personally, it's one of my favorite cards because the Queen of Pentacles represents to me Mama Bear, Papa Bear, nurturing, loving, kind, caring, wants to love and be loved, but wants to find stable and structure within that realm, right? Who doesn't? Most people don't know how to attain it. Most people don't know how to function with it. With that said, you are going to have these conversations like I said you would. Now, let's start clarifying. I am studying a new Oracle deck, which I'm finding interesting, and I'm doing it now only mainly for the cardinal signs, but I think it's apropos for you too, Taurus, because of Venus, and this is very... the deck is called Amore de Psyche. It's a love oracle. I am going to pull one card for you too at the end of this reading along with the love oracle cards. And we'll deep dive in it in the extended. But here for this purpose, for the general reading, these cards really are interesting to me because there's 30 of them. The first 10 represent to me what phase or what stage of love you guys are going to be getting into. So it'll be interesting to see what we pull there. All right. Spirit, let's do this for Taurus. Why is the Page of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, and the Two of Swords here, please? For Taurus, please. The King of Wands is in cross. Your challenge for this person to come in like normal. And Justice in reverse. You feel like whatever's going on with this person, it's really unfair or they're treating you unfairly. Some of you, yes, you are maybe suspending a separation, a divorce perhaps. But you also feel like whatever's going on with this individual, it's hopeless. Truly. So with your Seven of Wands, you kind of are resisting them because you on an internal level, Taurus, understand that there's something fundamentally wrong here. Whether it's the situation or the person, and now you're second guessing them because you're like, Well, what kind of shit are they going to get me into in my future? Because I don't know if I see what I like here at all, right? However, they could be coming back, right? To vindicate you, validate you, like the Six of Wands we saw in your advice. It's here at the bottom of the deck. I know it's this King of Wands, whoever you have passion and chemistry with, they're here. And you're torn as to what to do. But now you're like, you're somewhere in the position of like, do I cut them out or keep them? Do I deal with this or don't I? Will it always be like this? Because this is chaos. But you don't feel the good feels. Do you get what I'm saying? You feel like something's unfair there, or they're treating you unfairly. There could be a suspension of you separating. Maybe you're not going to separate. You're asking yourself all these questions. Is like, is this okay moving forward? Do I want this moving forward to be like this? This is just like shit, nuts. That's why it's gone as far as it can go. It needs to grow, evolve, or be done. It's, again, like when you go to college, what if you go through the first year and you realize you don't like your major? You're like, I can't marry this. Are you crazy? You change your major. You go to study business, and all of a sudden you do Psych 101. You fall in love with Psych 101. You're like, I need to be a psychologist. I ain't gonna be no business person. I can't marry a business idea. No way. That can't be my career. Why is it so simple for us to make decisions like that, but we can't in relationships when it comes to people? All right. The Nine of Pentacles and the Two of Wands in cross. Strength and Page of Swords. What? You're resisting and stalking, but you're staying single, which I don't know. I don't really hate it for you. You're just, the reason you haven't moved on yet is because of the stalking part. You're torn. The Two of Swords is here again, as it was in the first position. Two of Swords. Let me show you what I mean. With the Two of Swords. Two options, two paths, two roads. You're resisting because you're not sure anymore. They showed you some true colors and you're like, I don't know. I think this looks kind of scary. Do I want this? This is why it's good for you to be alone. So you know who you are, what you want. You're finally single. And in this space, you get to love yourself. And in this place where you're loving yourself, does this person love the same thing that you love about you? You get what I'm saying? You're coming to a close. This is coming to a wrap. Eclipse 1. And this is going to, I feel like Eclipse 1 brought you someone. Eclipse 2 is going to take someone. All right. Let's see what the Nine of Cups is talking about. Knight of Wands, the Tower. Okay. And the Knight of Cups. So those of you who are doing something casually or having a fling or an affair or whatever, you're having a Tower moment on your situation or this, right? The affair, the fling, the whatever. Because of the circumstance and the nature of the relationship itself. It being a casual thing. It being in the dark. It being in the shadows. Or it just not being committed. Because of this is the reason why I saw that forward momentum where I feel like you want to go talk to them face to face, heart to heart, and see what their reaction is, what's going to happen from here. And it can very well be just closure, or to confirm what you were thinking and feeling in the first place, to be honest with you. And I see you being single thereafter. You're going to say to yourself, I don't know if I need all this bullshit. I don't think it's me who needs to step up. I did the work. I did a lot of work. And then you're coming to realize that what you recently went through between the last 2 years and the first half of this year, Taurus, you're going to come to realize what you've been through how you went through hell and you came out on the other end, that you realize, wow, I think I need to find somebody who's going to match me at that, not just level, but that caliber, that strength, that level, that understanding that, what you did was a big deal for you. So to get there, you just need somebody to appreciate you and what you're going through. All right, let's see what the Six of Wands is. And that also refers to your advice, finding that. Six of Wands and the advice for Taurus, please. Four of Wands. Three of, yeah, see, you're heartbroken over something. And some of you could have been an Aries, it doesn't have to be, but somebody that you thought was larger than life, was an Emperor status. But now you're like, oh my God, I built so much with this individual. Do I leave them now behind? Sometimes they come for a season and a reason, and then goodbye. It is what it is. Don't kill me, Aries people. You got your own shit to deal with. Go see your video. Four of Wands and Cross. It's not upgrading. You could upgrade this. You can upgrade anything, and you can make it work out with this Emperor person. I know that they're available for you and to you. I just feel like this person's going through something. So in order for you to work this out, you would need to maximize this potential with the Six of Wands, having success here with somebody. You can. It's optimal. It's just a choice. And I think that there's an underlying tone here about Six of Pentacles. Somebody feels like they're constantly begging for attention, needing more of the other person. And I don't know if maybe your other person keeps feeling like they don't get enough of you, or you don't give them attention, or some shit like that. Because that's the energy I'm vibing here. Somebody here feels like breadcrumbed. All right, let's see what's going on. What is this Queen of Pentacles in the outcome? You know, it's funny. Last week's reading, I felt like it was about your multiple options. This week feels like it's honing in on one individual, like who you're eclipsing out, if at all. Because this period of time represents who you move forward with after the eclipse. So you fix it, or it's not fixable. Two of Wands in Cross, Five of Pentacles, the Moon, and the Five of Wands. Interesting. Your Two of Wands came in the same position as your Two of Wands in the outcome. Not knowing. Are you afraid to leave the past behind and go into your future? Not have anything lined up? You fear the future because you don't know what's going to happen. Five of Pentacles, you feel lonely and left out in the cold. Five of Wands, you have a couple fives. That's interesting. Feeling the burdens, feeling the hassle, feeling the friction, the issues that you've got, the challenges, the competition. You're feeling all of it. But the funny thing is, above all else, you are actually finding stability. You are finding structure, because within all these little nuanced of like shitty things that you're going through with a person, you're actually finding yourself. What you want, what you can deal with, and what you can't. What you desire, what you don't desire. Eight of Wands. You are going back and forth here with somebody though. And you are talking to them. I know you're in love with this person I'm talking about. Six of Swords. And you just kind of want to mentally disengage from a certain situation. Your person is in their head too. I think that the extended is going to clarify a lot of what's going on here, because the extended goes into your person, where this was very much about you. All right. Psyche Amore, tell us for Taurus. What's going on? What do you see here? Number 4. You... Ideal romance. Oh man, I can't wait to read this. All right, so this breaks down the theories of love, like the actions, the meditation, and the affirmation you need in regards to finding ideal romance. But this is going to go on and tell me in the extended about you and this other person, but it looks like it's the beginning stages with someone. So this is new-ish, the beginning stages, the finding love portion. All right, let's see what the romance angels have to say for Taurus, please. Stay optimistic about your love life. Interesting, because I find these to be identical in the sense that you see this woman standing at the altar telling the gods, please, please help me. I need my love life to be healthy and secure and whatever. It's the same thing, you giving in over here, and back here are your actual gods working on it. We'll get into that in the extended when we clarify with Tarot. All right, let's head on over there. Everybody else, I will see you next week.